Okay, welcome to your weekend focus for December the 9th and the 10th, 2017. So I finished doing the 8th, and my son came into the room and said, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "I'm planning on crawling into bed. It's late." And he said, and he looks at the screen and he goes, "Your daily focus." And I go, "Yeah, for the 8th." And he went, "Mm-hmm." And I went, "I was supposed to do a weekend focus." And it never crossed my mind once. It was completely out of mind. And I knew it was, I do late Thursday night for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do it late Monday night for Tuesday, etc., etc. So I thought, well, I guess Mercury retrograde reels its head, and we have to do another video because everybody's expecting a weekend video. So I do apologize for the break in it, but maybe in some way we needed to address the energy very concretely for each day, because we had the 8th and it was all about what are you cultivating. If you watched the video, if not, that's what it was about. It was what are you cultivating. And now we're into the 9th is the hermit energy. So going within, making the plan, understanding what works, what doesn't work, understanding what we truly want, what will bring in value in our life. And then we go into the Wheel of Fortune card, which would be the 10 energy, the 1 energy, the godlike 1 energy. Because anytime you have a 10 or 20 or 30 or 40, etc., in numerology, the 0 represents the God factor. So the importance of the energy, the strength of the energy, the depth of the energy. So we are in a 10 year, which boils down to a 1 year. We'll be going into an 11 year, which is even more exciting. And here we are going into the 11 energy of the Justice on the Monday. We won't go there. This is for the 9th and the 10th. So I truly do apologize for anybody who had to sit through a couple of videos in order to get the message for the weekend. But I do love connecting with you. So, and I'm just going to have to believe that it was for a definite reason that we have this broken up. Look at this. We have the 7 of Swords. When's the last time we saw the 7 of Swords? It's been a while. 7 of Swords is really our trust issues. With the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is our passions, our dreams. We're going to do 5 cards. 9 of Swords. Oh, guess what? Was in the middle of the reading for the 8th. And here we are in the middle of the reading for the weekend. And we are still holding on to this energy. But it shifts in what we are thinking. Of what's keeping us up at night. Of what's bringing in stress. Of what's bringing in worry. And 10 of Cups. So that's beautiful energy. That's your happily ever after with the High Priestess back. And he's at the end of the reading. So let's stop there and start with the 7 of Swords. Immediately, I get different vibrations off this card, but I really got it as, not trusting everybody or everything or their motives, or maybe we're questioning these things. What is their motive behind? What's in it for them? What did they get out of it if I agree to this? Or what do they potentially lose if I say no? And what do I really need in order to go forward? We have our knives packed there in our bag, but we are leaving some things behind. Things that we know we don't need going forward. And we look very confident of where we're going. Do we come back for those swords later? Doesn't look it from our appearance now. We're going forward. So we may be questioning people's motives today. We may be questioning our own motives. We may be understanding what we need to let go of in order to step forward. Now we have the Knight of Cups here, and this is passion, love, desire out of seemingly nowhere. Now Mars is going into Scorpio on the 10th, I believe, or on the 9th. So no more is this harmonious weighing out the circumstances and whether to step forward and whether or not to take a step to the left or the right, or which way's right, which way's wrong. I see the benefit of both. I see the mishaps that can happen in both. I'm not sure. Mars doesn't really like that kind of energy, but now we're going into Scorpio and we're going to get to the bottom of things. We're going to be direct. So we could really be fueling our passion, our desire, as maybe we research something, we look into something, and the more we learn about it, the more we want to learn about it, and the more we grow in that environment, the more we want to thrive in that environment that we are putting ourselves in, that we can see ourselves in. This could be true love coming your way. This could be your knight in shining armor, or you could be the knight in shining armor. This is about happiness and enjoyment, and we with the Ten of Cups mirrored here in this reading. So definitely about celebrations and happiness and joy, and finding joy and pleasure in the company of the people we love, the people we hold dear to our hearts, the people we want to grow meaningful relationships with, whether they be lovers or partners or associations. Now we have the Nine of Swords here. And I just finished talking a lot about the Nine of Swords, so maybe you want to go back and just recap what I said. Basically, this is about our fears. This is about our attitude going forward. This is about our confidence level. To not allow those imaginary fears in because of what our bodies do. If we are tired in the morning because we got had a restless night, it's going to impact on how much of a difference we can make in our life that day going forward. So maybe a little bit of meditation is in order this weekend. Maybe just a couple of deep breaths and feeling this vibration go through your body and just pushing away the negative. Just really fast. Feel where that tension is. And you don't want the tension to necessarily disappear, because that tension may be a signal that your health needs to be cared for in some way. So we don't want all the pain to go away if it's there for a warning, if it's there that we need to be called to that area for medical reasons, to keep ourselves strong and healthy. Let's just clear it and realize the stress that we hold within our bodies. Allow ourselves to not have that fight or flight kind of tension within our bodies at all times, and not even realize it. In this day and age, we don't even realize that we carry this amazing amount of stress. It's just part of who we are now, and we need to disconnect from that part of us, because we want to be optimal going forward in our health, in our vibration, in our vitality, in our light. So we can have this, the Ten of Cups, the happily ever after, the fairy tale come true, the impossible turn possible. Finding joy and happiness in our now. This will be our now one day. So feel that vibration. Allow yourself to smile when you think about your happily ever after, about when you finally reach that goal. And if you can't really attach yourself to it, then you need to raise your confidence and your belief in yourself. Know that you can. The High Priest says exactly that. You already have the wisdom, the knowledge inside of you. And maybe that's what this weekend opens you up the most to, is understanding your wisdom, your intuition, how it works for you. How you already have the knowledge within. So what do we have this weekend? We have the Sun in Sagittarius. So we are adventurous, we are fun-loving, we are nature-loving, so we feel better when we get out and about. social. We want to learn, grow our mental capacities, our wisdom, tap into our wisdom. The moon will be in Virgo, I think, for the most part. So it is about organizing, seeing what fits, what doesn't fit, what belongs, what doesn't belong, what is the old, unused, outdated, clearing the clutter, completing the task, making the list. We have Mars moving into Scorpio, so we are more decisive and direct in what we want and how to get there. So we have to tap into that inner knowledge, that inner wisdom of ours. We have to believe in our own intuition. If you feel your intuition has led you astray, what happens is we ask ourselves a question, and our intuition tells us something, and we don't like what we just heard in our mind. So we let our ego kind of take over and pacify us and tell us, oh, it doesn't have to be that way. It could be this way. You can do that. It'll happen. Don't worry. You have to accept the first thing that comes to you. You hear that in so many parts of society. If you're taking a test or it's a multiple choice or something, always take your first answer because chances are that's the one that's right. It's when we start to argue with ourselves, when we start to question, when we start to say, no, I don't really like that answer, I don't really want to do that thing, that our wisdom, our inner wisdom tells us that we must. And our ego takes over and tells us everything will be fine. Don't worry about it. And that's the answer we wanted, so we believe that one. And then we go, oh, I listened to my intuition. Boy, I was dead wrong. No, you're dead wrong about listening to your intuition, perhaps. Let's get an affirmation card for this weekend. Of course, we have Mercury going retrograde this weekend as well. We have Mercury talking to Saturn. Mercury doesn't particularly like Saturn. I'm sure Saturn doesn't like the youthfulness and spontaneity of Mercury. The go, go, go factor. Mercury, I mean, he's just energy, which is why our electronics seem to go, because he is just energy. He's flying through that sky. Come on, let's go. Let's have that conversation. Let's finish that action. Let's move forward. And Saturn's saying, oh, no, 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 not so fast. And Mercury's in retrograde. So we are looking at maybe some past actions and reconnecting with those things in our life a little bit more this weekend. Call 20. Purpose and true prosperity. I have everything I need right now to move forward with purpose. I am being called into a deeper and more authentic relationship with myself, with my higher power, and with others. I am here for a reason. I am required to step forward into my true self, expressing that through my actions. I need to trust that my life has a purpose, that I am enough, and that within me is a divine blueprint that has meaning for myself and others. I'm going to read that again because it's just beautiful in its wholeness. I don't even know how to break that apart. It just all flows. I have everything I need right now to move forward with purpose. That's the Hierophant saying, tap into your inner wisdom. You've already got the answers inside of you. You already have the wisdom of how to go forward inside of you. So listen to your intuition. I'm being called into a deeper and more authentic relationship with myself. It could be just this. It could be understanding what you need to leave behind in order to go forward. Maybe something that's been weighing you down. With my higher power, with others, I'm here for a reason. I'm required to step forward into my true self, expressing that through my actions. I need to trust that my life has purpose, that I am enough. And isn't that, in some form or fashion, what we worry about, that we're not enough? We don't love enough, care enough. That within me is a divine blueprint that has meaning for myself and others. And we get an animal card. So a lot of beautiful energy. Go back to the 8th if you want to hear a little bit more of the Nine of Swords, because I do think that's important, but I'm not going to regurgitate all that information again, because most of you have already listened to it. We have the Ten of Cups, you're happily ever after. Know that that is your blueprint. Know that you were designed for a specific purpose, to bring your unique abilities, your talents, you, to the table, to the feast. Moonlight with the crab. When do we have another moon? Like about the 18th or something, we have the new moon in Sag. Moonlight. So we do have the full moon with the moonlight. Mystery, darkness, jealousy, anger, emotion, regeneration. Everyone is a moon and has a dark side which never he shows to anybody. If you have chosen crowd, the message is that you have been overcome with anger, emotion, jealousy, and it's now time for you to look at all the issues and release the negative emotions that you are hanging on to and releasing them. It's time to let go of those negative emotions, to release them. You are being reminded that you've been uptight and not going with the flow. Crowd tells you that it is a time of regeneration and transformation, but it can only occur if you set down the negativity and allow yourself to turn away from your dark side and embrace the light that shines on you and within your spirit. If you can't see it, the reminder is that the moon remains strong to help guide and transform you. Release all that is troubling you. Use the moon cycles to assist you in your journey. Many people get moody during a full moon, while others feel sadness at the new moon. Pay attention to your moods during the moon cycle to see if there is any connection, and chances are there is a connection. Chances are there is a connection between your emotions and the moons. It's time to let go of the worry, the fear. It's time to let go of those things. It's time to step into your light. It's time to step into your happily ever after. And it's going within yourself. I'm all buried alive here. It's going within yourself and realizing that you have the key this whole time. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.